Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and I'm here with another makeover video today. Thankfully, I literally set all of this up and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just put my washing on now so I don't forget. And then I was like, what am I doing? I did this in the last video and then I had a big loud washing machine going next door for the whole of like me chatting. So thankfully, just as I was about to press the button, I thought, no, this can wait till afterwards. So hopefully it will be a bit quieter. It won't sound like there's some kind of plane taking off in the background. Anyway, yes, today is the spare bedroom, which was always going to be used as an office. A lot of that would be storing my art stuff and whatever. Anyway, moving in, it was a blank room aside from like a huge big dark wardrobe at one end, and we'd signed everything and whatnot, and I was like, you are going to remove the wardrobe, right? Because it says it's unfurnished. And he was like, oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And I was like, wow, okay, this is taking up an unnecessary amount of space. And like how we'd planned it in our heads was when Nick was working in there too originally, and so his desk was going to be at one end and mine at the other, and that wardrobe was just taking up so much space, and also like eliminated a wall that we needed to use, and along the longest wall, that's where my big storage from the previous room that was my studio had been in, and that was really the only place it was going to fit in there. So that was another wall that couldn't be used. So yeah, anyway, in the end he was like, you can take it apart as long as you can store it and put it back when you're finished. And I was just like, no. No. So we took it apart, and I was like, we're just gonna get rid of this, and then when it comes to moving out, I will just buy some kind of cheap, because it was just a cheap IKEA wardrobe, just buy something off Facebook Marketplace and put it in there, so he has a wardrobe for his next tenants who will probably use it as a bedroom. So we did that, found lots of really gross stuff in the back of that wardrobe, and actually also really did him a favour, which we did say at the time. It was like, if you're like fumigating the whole place, because if you've been here at any length of time, you may remember that we had a moth infestation that we literally walked into and inherited from the last tenants, and so we were like, hold on a second, there's moths and moth eggs everywhere chewing at the carpet. We're not bringing our stuff in here until you sorted that out. So you fumigated the whole place and replaced all of the carpets. So we were like, there's carpet underneath this wardrobe, so surely us taking it out is actually doing you a favor, so you can like get under there as well. So yeah, he can pipe down. Here's what happened to that room very quickly after we moved in. I think everybody has that room that's just the dumping space for everything when you move into a new home, or just generally. But yeah, it was absolute carnage, and I first of all needed to tidy it up. So one of the first things I did in here was add a rug to this corner, my corner of the space, because as you may know from other videos, I hate this carpet that the landlord put through our whole house. And it kind of is fine with white on the walls, not always with other colours, but I've been trying to cover lots of the space with rugs. So I got this really nice kind of neutral jute rug from Facebook Marketplace, of course. I think it was like 30 quid, or 25 maybe, which for something that's quite big, I thought was really good. And so that just kind of covers this at this end, which is where I'm going to have the green. And although it's not like a greeny green on the walls at the bottom, it's still a greeny tone, and this carpet just does not look good with anything with a greeny tone. So that's hence, yeah, this. I often start off a room makeover with a very crude, quick Photoshop mock-up of what I'm thinking the space should look like. This was me testing out the peel and stick wallpaper I had my eye on and trying to find a colour that would go with it on the bottom, and just seeing if the whole kind of curtains and stuff would work in this space. Got the paint before Christmas for the what's going to be like the bottom bit of this section below the wallpaper, below like a bit of beading and Dayo Rail, whatever you want to call it. And I've also had my peel and stick wallpaper since October. I remember I got it on like a big Spoonflower sale, so I was like, right, I need to work out how much I want and like get it ordered. The irony is that I did save a good amount of money because it's not cheap, but then I did forget about customs, the fact that it comes from the States, so that was a bit of a bummer. But it is stunning. I ordered like a I don't know if you can see, I ordered like a William Morris design. I think this is the honeysuckle one. Is that right? I might be lying to you, but it will be in the description box anyway, if there's any confusion. But it's really, really nice quality. Like I can feel, I don't know, just a lot of peel and stick wallpapers tend to be very vinyl-y and like kind of shiny, which is fine for, you know, what they are. But this is like, I don't know if you can, I'm failing to show this well. It's got like a little texture, a kind of canvasy texture, which just makes it look a lot more expensive and a lot more like proper wallpaper basically, and that's the effect that I'm trying to go for. I really hope it was so long ago now and I've done all that plan on Photoshop. I really, really hope that I have ordered the right amount. I just need to like refresh my memory now, go back, have a look at proportions and measurements, and I'm going to put it on finally. I figure if I do the wallpaper first, then I can work out how much it is that I need, like how far down the wall it's going to go, and then I can paint up to that point when I know, because there's no point in painting more than I need to paint. Like if I'm going to save energy, that's a yes from me. And then I can put the painted bit of beading / Dayo Rail across, so like you won't be able to see the joint anyway. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do some maths, which my very creative brain at this stage / after having 2 children can't cope with very well. I realised that we have calculators on our phones, but like just even working out what calculation I need to do, sometimes that's too much. That will just push me over the edge. So we'll see how this goes. It's important to get your starting point right, but walls are never going to be that straight. So make sure that you're just focused on joining up the 2 bits of peel and stick wallpaper. It doesn't matter if you kind of go up onto the ceiling at the top, because you can trim it off afterwards. It's more important that the pattern joins up, believe me. And then you can just trim around the window area, and it's very easy. Okay, so I am back in this room today and I am determined to get a first coat of paint on the bottom section of this wall, so underneath the peel and stick wallpaper. But I have suddenly just thought maybe I want to extend the wallpaper down a little bit because I love it. It looks great. I am amazed at how easy it was to go on, and it's working really well. But I may have slightly over-ordered, which is really annoying considering, yeah, I just spent money that I didn't need to spend, and this was ages ago. So I mean, I'm sure I will find a use for it, or I can sell it or whatever. But anyway, I have more available to me, and I'm just wondering if I could make more of it by putting it further down. Here it is. Sorry, the light's a bit weird because there's two windows, one here which is backlighting everything, and then one to the side, so it might look a little bit dark. But yeah, I love it. I think it looks great, but I'm just thinking actually I could go further down, like maybe to like here, and then have the paint coming down from there, because actually the desk only goes up to, I want to say that it just goes below the window bit, so that's like quite a big expanse that would be painted, whereas I could have more wallpaper. And I was a bit like, oh, but that's really annoying. If I'd known that sooner, then I would have like just extended down each panel, which would have been easier. But I was worried that then you'd be able to see the join, but I don't actually think that you will, going by how it's joined really well going along. Like, it's quite hard to even see the vertical joins, and I was going to say somewhere up there is a horizontal join where just like I don't know, it was a little bit wonky, and so there was a space at the top which I wanted to fill in, which you can't really see. So I'm thinking maybe it's fine. Maybe it's fine. Maybe I should just do it and then just like make it more of a statement, you know? It is beautiful though. It's so nice. And like, as I said, it feels nice. Like it's got a like linen-y texture. I don't know if that is the right description of it, but anyway, yeah, I'm gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna go for adding a little bit on, and then I'm gonna paint. Okay, well, I have finished doing the extra bit of the wallpaper, which is looking nice, and I'm glad that I did it, even though I did end up, because of like fitting the pattern together, did end up having to open the last roll, which is a little bit annoying considering I probably could have sold it and made some money otherwise, and it could have been avoided if I just carried on the rolls from the start. But you know, you live and learn. I think I was trying to be more conservative because I was actually worried that I didn't have enough. So then I have gone ahead and taped off the area that I'm going to paint. I didn't film that because, let's be honest, it would be incredibly dull to watch me do that. So I've spared you that, and I've kind of suddenly realised that there is a radiator here, which, you know, you might think would have occurred to me before now, but it actually didn't. So I'm going to paint the radiator as well. I just don't want a big white expanse in a wall that isn't even very big. So I'm going to prime that first. This is the colour that I've gone for, which is actually this one. So this is the Trail from Coat, and I was looking for like a greeny grey colour, so something that wasn't like really obviously green, and I actually looked at this first, which I love. This is a really nice colour and I do want to use it somewhere else in our home, but when I actually put it against this, sorry, I've been running so I'm out of breath, it just isn't the right shade of greeny grey. Like this in the background is much more of a bluey grey colour, and this is warmer, so I thought it just was not going to look right. But the kind of light muted greens I thought actually worked quite well with this, so I went for this one. And actually it's the colour I painted like the window trim and stuff on the doll's house, and I like it. When I say I've been running, I've literally run up the stairs. Just for clarification, this does not make me look particularly fit. Then it was time for the Dayo Rail, the moulding. I don't really know what you would refer to it as, but I had to measure, obviously, either side of the window to see how big I wanted my pieces to be. And then when I knew that, then I could mark it on there and then just cut them. I did it with a handsaw, kind of annoying. I probably need to get proper cutters. But then I just primed these, and then I painted a layer of the paint colour, same as the bottom part of the wall, and then I used this strong adhesive just on the back of each to attach it to the wall, which is very easy. I mean, obviously I'll probably have to patch up a bit when I take it off at the end of our tenancy, but there were no nails, they were very lightweight, and there wasn't loads of moulding going on, so it worked quite well. Yesterday Nick helped me put these curtains up, which I've had for ages, just sitting there like all the other stuff for this room. But yeah, the black curtain pole is just the same as I think almost all the other curtain poles in our house. And then, yeah, I've got that and these curtains, and then the same over here on this window, which just like really softens the room. It always surprises me how much of a difference curtains make. They kind of look a little bit yellow in this light, but they're not, they're cream. And then also finally put up this Facebook Marketplace find. Again, it's just been sat on the floor for like months and months. And then what I really need to do is I need to put a like coat of tough coat on the radiator, just because usually you would paint a radiator with like an eggshell paint or like a basically not a flat matte paint, and this is just what I had for the walls, and so I was like, well, I'm just gonna prime it and then I think I put 3 coats on the radiator, but just to make sure that it's like properly protected and not gonna kind of get banged off, I'm gonna do the tough coat on the top, and hopefully that will give it longevity. I need to do something. Look at this. Do you like my styling? This is such a mess over here. I need to think about what I'm going to do with this unit, which is obviously just like the IKEA, is it Kallax? The one that everybody does cool makeovers on and stuff. After making the wall so pretty, I decided that my eyes were quite offended by the yellowness of my desk. This is one I've had for ages and ages and ages, just an IKEA one, just with a tabletop and legs separately. But I remembered I had some of this peel and stick vinyl wood for somewhere else it was intended to go, but I just thought, you know what, I could just quickly cover this table and make it look more appealing, more fitting with the aesthetic. So this all in all took me about 20 minutes to do, and I just lay it down flat, put this on just to hold it in place while I cut around the edges, just leaving a bit, obviously, because you need to fold it around, and then just try to even it up. And then I was able to start peeling and then sticking. So always with peel and stick, you want to make sure that you get it at one end, and that's where you're going to work from. So it's really important that you get this bit straight, and don't worry, realign it if you feel like it's kind of skew-iff and not going to go right, because honestly, starting point is everything. So make sure it's all straight, and then I just squished it into place with this tool that I use for every peel and stick project. And then I cut at the edges just so that I could wrap it around. And then I pressed it into the edges of the table, and again just keep on peeling it back up and sticking it down when you see any kind of air bubbles or creases or anything like that. Just make sure it's really good and flat along one side, and then you can pull it over and fold it underneath and just make sure it's really tight. And then here you can see I'm just covering the other side of the table, working to the other end, using my little tool, making sure there aren't air bubbles. And then I just did exactly the same over the front edge, and happy days, quick makeover of my desk. So that is it for part 1, guys. I did say I was going to try and do these makeovers in 2 parts instead of trying to edit all of the content down into one. So next time, come back and see what I did to the rest of the room and the final reveal. See you guys next time.